What's up, y'all? This is Hussein Nasser from iGeometry, and Happy New Year, everybody. Happy New Year. I hope this year will be prosperous for you all, guys. Uh, I'm very optimistic about this year. I didn't really made any resolutions for this year, but I just I just heard someone made his own resolutions. And I said, okay, what could be my resolutions this year if I even believe in such things? So I said, you guys, I want to make more videos. This is my resolution. Really, I want to make more videos so you guys can really enjoy whatever content I made. I really want to make that. I hope I can have or find the time to post more than like couple of videos a week or even more than that. Yeah, because it's just as you know, as some of you know, that I have a day job. I work basically. I work at Israel, so I go to work 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. Depends. We have flexible timings, and I leave around 5 6. So only time I have is the weekends, and the weekend I want to spend it with my family, of course. Want to go to trips, explore the states. We just arrived here, so well, I just came in from Vegas. Yeah, it was a good weekend. So we came back, and the first thing I would do, I just stepped on home. Right, it's around what 7 p.m. I just made a video for you guys. Yeah, that's how much I love you. So yeah, yeah. So next, after that, we want to talk. Are we recording? Yeah, good. We want to continue our basic programming episode here. So in the previous one, we talked about this concept of classes and object-oriented things. Remember? So we discussed what is a class, what is an object, and we talked about all these concepts. And I decided to split these into two parts. So the first part is basically object and classes, part one. Part two is basically adding a little bit more flavor to that, more functionality to whatever we were building, right? So what were we building? We have built this. We are actually building this software or program called Pizza Bit. It's a software for a pizza company to help customers order, you know, pizza, their own pizza. That's what we did. So far, we just created a project, pure project. We showed how to do that. All right. So you can, by the way, just point to that and you go directly to the solution or the project that you built, or you just click on here and you'll find it in the recent. If you don't even find it, just go open, and you have to remember where did you place it, right? So I placed it in C iGeometry Pizza Bit, and there's another folder Pizza Bit. This, you just open the solution, and there you go. You open. This is the project that we built. So far, we have only this form that we didn't put any controls. I'm gonna dedicate an entire episode or two just to explain what are the controls, the UI control, the user interface controls. We're gonna come to that. But now we have something more important: the engine, the underlining code, the classes, right? Class have properties, method, and multiple constructors. Oh, we didn't talk about constructor. We're gonna talk about this now too. All right. So what have you done? What have you done, guys? What have you done? What have you done? So yeah, we did this so far. We declared a public class called pizza, and we added one property to that, and that whole thing is called a property. This is called a private variable, and you can name a variable whatever you want as long as it doesn't start with a digit. But private variables for a standard, as a standard, I always start them with underscore. So I know that this is a private variable. A private variable is a variable that cannot be accessed outside the class it is in. So as you can see, so class crust type here, so this type of the thickness of this pizza crust is a variable of type string, so you can put text in it. So we could not do something like that, right? So we declared an object of type pizza. We created a new instance so we can access that class, and then we set this dot crust type. So in order to access a private variable, we kind of wrapped a function or a method in order to access it, and this is what is getting called when you call this function. So we go back here. When you call p.crustType equal think, come on, man, that is so embarrassing. Think, and you didn't talk, guys. You watched an entire episode and nobody commented that this is wrong. I hope. Oh, okay. People will now comment. I'm gonna go back and fix this. Alright, so thick. So what happens that you're gonna put the value that is between these two codes inside this variable, right? And to do that, what will get called is actually this method. The set method will get called. The value is whatever you pass, which is thick. This will take the thick into this variable, and this value will be now thick. Now, when someone requests this value, like this in this case, p.crustType, now you're calling the get method. It's a little not complicated, it's a little bit confusing, but once you get to it, it's really easy. You know, this is the property. You should have probably not started with the properties, but it's not that hard, really, guys. Right? So when you request that value, the value of s, which is now thick, will be returned to s, and then you message box s. Right? So just don't overcomplicate it. So set and get. This is how you set. You put in the left side whatever you want to set, right? It always works from the right to the left, all right? This is how equal works. It puts the value from the right hand side to the left hand side. This is how it works, right? I guess I have to speak in these terms, have to explain everything, all right? Really easy. All right, so we talked about these properties, and see this variable start with underscore, so, but when I go here and I say p dot that I'm trying to access the class, I do not see my variable that I created, which is underscore crust type. Why? Because it's private. You want to do something fun? Make this public. Now my variable is now public, and I can see it. See the variable is always as a building block. This is the icon for this variable. This is the property. Some of you said, okay, why do you complicate things, Hussein? Just declare a variable, right? And we can access it. Why this whole shit? Why are you adding why are you complicating things? Right? Makes sense. I mean, I can just remove that, right? If I remove that, if I remove that, go back here and say dot crust type. I can access the variable and just replace everything with the variable. Yes, definitely you can do that, but it's bad. It's really bad. You don't want to do that. Why? Because you want to have some sort of a control over your variables, or let's call them data. So your data have to be some sort of a protected, so you need to access them using certain method. So I'm going to tell you an example, right? So what if you want to set these variables so that it can only have certain values, all right? or it cannot exceed something. You know, they have to be validated. Like if this was a crust type and someone tried to put a value which is logically incorrect, right? So if you try to put thick, now thick is a string, right? And thin is also valid for a crust type. But if you put, for example, something that does not ever be a crust type, like apple, the apple can be a crust type. Damn it! Okay, now I'm craving an apple crust pizza. Damn it! All right, where can I find that? Okay. So try to put something that doesn't fit in a pizza, like banana. Goddamn no. Wood, okay, wood. Stone. You cannot put a stone as a pizza type, right? So you need to filter those off. So to do that, we have to add logic. We can now add logic to prevent, and we didn't come to if statements, right? Conditions. They say, hey, if you're trying to do that, don't do that. You know, some kind of if statements we call them, and we will learn about if statement, but not today. If statement is a bit early topic now. We don't want them. Okay, so if this value is does not fit these conditions, just abort. Don't do that. Or just tell the user, hey, you're doing something bad. Don't put a stone in a pizza. That's bad. All right. So I'm just explaining what we can do. Why do we need a property? A property just protects your variable. If you just set this variable directly, you're screwed. You cannot catch invalid values, right? So that's what a property is for. So okay, because I was frustrated at the beginning when my teacher just forced us to use get and set, but really she didn't explain anything, and I'm very frustrated. He says, okay, why do we need get and set if we can just set the variable, right? I can just set it, but she didn't explain. She didn't. Instead, you have just please just do whatever I tell you. Okay, Hussein. Thank you. She didn't speak like that, by the way. She spoke Arabic, but yeah, just same concept. It was frustrating, man. Yeah, I mean, to have some people that do not understand the subject and they just force you to learn something without reason. You know that's so frustrating. But this is not our topic. All right, guys. Feel free to ask questions. Challenge me. I hope I have an answer for every question you have. If I don't, I'm gonna learn something new from you guys. All right. Let's do this. Okay. We talked a lot today. We didn't achieve anything. All right. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So crust type. What we want to do here now, we want to enrich this pizza class. This is very basic. I mean, what kind of pizza you just set a crust? I need some ingredient. I need some stuff in my pizza. I need beef, cheese, broccoli, even if you put that kind of stuff in your pizza, but whatever. Yeah. So you need to add stuff, right, to your pizza. So that's what we're going to do today. Today we're going to add ingredients. Don't judge me if this is spelling wrong, all right? All right, ingredients. I think it's only than a. All right, add ingredients like add mushroom, right? Add whatever, cheese, add meat, add chicken, add onion, whatever. There's a lot of ingredients, all right, that we can do. So now, after we add all these things, we want to calculate the price. Okay? How about that? I want each ingredient will have a price, and we need to set these prices. And once we do set these prices, what we do is basically calculate the price. Like if you add 2 portions of mushroom, a portion can be really anything, right? So let's not talk about what's the size of them. Just 1 portion. So 1 portion of a mushroom costs what? $1? That's too much. I mean, let's say 30 cents, 50 cents. Yeah, 50 cents. Lil Wayne. That was lame, guys. I'm sorry. Okay. So, I promise I'll not try to be funny. Last time. Forgive me. Alright. So each portion will have a price and we need to calculate this price. So some people add a lot of mushroom, like 3 portions of mushroom, cheese, and meat and onion. Some people just love cheese and pizza, obviously. And obviously there is a base price for the dough, right? Or the pizza, right? Some people just don't like meat or chicken or fish or whatever. So you need to calculate this price. So someone will make his own pizza and you need to show him the price, okay? So the first thing is that we need to add these, what we call methods, right? To these classes. All right, guys, now I want to explain something. Whatever we are coding now can always be enhanced, okay? You have to understand that. Whatever I'm coding is very basic now, and it can be enhanced, and we will enhance it. This whatever we're writing, we're gonna shovel it up and rewrite it again, because this is, I'm not gonna say the wrong way, but there's a better way, a best practice to write stuff. This is whatever we're gonna show now. This is that just to learn methods, and we learn classes, okay? Let's get to it. So we understand the problem. We have a problem, a very big one. We need to calculate the price of a pizza. Big problem. Right. So what we need is, basically, we need to come up with some variables here, or some values that the prices, the unit prices for each ingredient, right? How do we do that? We can put them as variables, right? So let's say the portion, let's declare a private variable called cheese. Cheese, or let's just call it unit underscore cheese underscore price, right? And these, since we are quoting a price in dollars, so this could be like 0.5 of a dollar, right? Can be whole numbers. Whole numbers are integers. We know that, right? Numbers are integers, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 17. Natural numbers. Also, a floating number, or a values that can be decimal, we call them here basically double, right? So these values, a double value is a number that you can put values, fractions of values here. So let's say a cheese is 0.5. You can do that. So we just declared a unit value for cheese to be what? 0.5 of a dollar. Half a dollar. Sorry. By the way, double slash, this is the comment of the C in C sharp, right? I'm writing a lot of C sharp code currently. That's why I'm getting confused. A comment, we talked about comments, that these are things that are not executed by the compiler, are not compiled into machine code. All right, Control S. So we have the cheese price. Let's put in it's a good way to introduce a new concept here. Let's do that too. Okay. Alright, so unit of cheese, unit of onion, price as double. Let's say onion is cheaper, cent, right? Private unit, what else? Cheese, onion, meat, price. This is as a unit or portion, okay, guys? So meat is expensive, so $1. You can put, by the way, whole numbers in the double too, right? Unit meat chicken price is double equal same price. Let's say meat is expensive than chicken for some reason, right? So cheese, onion, meat, chicken. Let's stick with those now. We're gonna add more ingredient as we go. All right, so we talked about variables, right? So variables are portions in the memory which get initialized with values if you put values in them, right? So in this case, right now, without running the program, these values are not initialized. They are not set. These are nothing. They don't exist. When do they exist? The moment you say new pizza, then you're setting them. Basically, when you create new pizza, the whole thing will get initialized, and the first thing that get initialized are these, including this. Basically, this will be empty string. So whenever I say new pizza, a pizza object will pop up. Remember the cupcake example? And these values will get set in here, right? Another approach to do that is using a constructor. A constructor is a method that gets called when a class is initiated. So this is called subnew. When you say public subnew and you just open parentheses and you hit enter and sub, whatever code you write here will be executed when you call the new method here, new pizza, all right? So you can put this code here too, right? So this is one approach. You can put it here. So let's do that. Let's just mix things up, right? So I'm gonna put a variable here. Let's say I put a private variable unit chicken, and then here I'm gonna change the price of the chicken to $2. So what do you think the value of the chicken will be? Will it be this 1 or 2 when I call this method, or when I call to get the value of the chicken? It will be always this, the last value, because new gets called after this. So let's make sure I'm right with this. I'm not 100% sure, I'm 90% sure. So I'm gonna set this to public now just for testing, all right? And after we call new pizza, I'm gonna do here p message box p dot see. I only see the unit chicken price. The others are private or hidden. So let's see. Am I wrong or right? So it can either be 1 or 2. All right. So let's see which one wins. What the hell was that? It's 2. Yay! So we're right, right? So the first value is set 1, and then the new is called. So this is called before this. So remember, there's a sequence of this. What happens if I comment this line? So and I go here and I run. I commented the line in the new method. So we should get. I don't like these watches now. What the fuck? We get 1, all right? And a thick, of course, and thin. All these variables that we set them before. All right, we got this. Understand the concept? So this is before this. So why does it matter? Now it doesn't, but as we go, we will learn that these will make sense as we go. As we go through this, we will learn when to set a variable here, when to set it here, and when to set it in the constructor. All these kind of things, you're gonna learn them, guys, right? So we can set a crust type, for example, here by default to be thin. right? When you create a new pizza, if you forget to put a crust type, let's just delete all this, right? This is an old code that we created last time. All right, let's create a new pizza. Now we are at the third episode. We can do something fancy. We can do this in one line. What happens if I just say message box p.crust type? What happens that I didn't set a value for the crust type manually, as I did in the previous episodes, but I'm gonna get a value. I'm gonna get thin by default. That's the default value. So you want to do these kind of default values in the new, right? And you can set them here too. No harm. But remember, your compiler gonna have do an extra work, not compiler. Your machine is gonna do an extra work to set these values and then execute whatever code you're writing here. So this really is almost neglectable. But as you have large code, you have to know what the heck are you doing in your code, because every single line you write has an implication in speed, performance, efficiency. So you have to learn what is happening. So when that's why I'm explaining this boring as hell details. I know some of you are bored, but I have to explain all these things. And please do ask me any questions you want. All right. So these are executed first, and then these are executed. And there is another level of a higher level that is getting executed even way before than everything else. So, and that is called the constants. So, if I'm not mistaken, constants, like for example, you can create a constant. Let's create a constant called usually constants are always in caps. This is the standard, right? What is a constant? I'm going to talk about that. We didn't explain that. Okay, let's say a constant is crust type as string. All right, thick, not thick, equals string, and this is equal to thick. So we just set a variable, not a variable, this is a constant. So what is the difference between a constant and a variable? A constant is initialized all the time in the beginning without the need for you to create an object. All right? That's very important to learn. So what does that mean? That means you don't have to create an object of type pizza in order to access that constant. Constants are loaded in the beginning. That's why they are very extremely fast. Why? Because they are, once you compile your program, you run your program, your constant already loaded. Even if you don't have a single line of code, all right, your constants get up and executed, loaded into the memory. So this is the only thing that is ready for you to be retrieved, right? So this is the first thing that gets executed, along with something called static that we're gonna explain in the next episode, hopefully. So these are loaded there. So let's try. I can do this now. Let's remove this and say message box p dot. What is this? Come on. What is that? I don't want to see this stupid thing. God damn. All right. So p dot common. So they are not accessed here. Ah, that's why we did it as a private, so it doesn't show up. When you say public, now p dot crust type thick. See, this is another different icon. So we're explaining now. We explain properties, variables, constants or constancy. It tells you it's thick. Now it tells me that it's thick without even running. So I didn't even run the application, and the compiler knows it's already thick. So this is a big thing, by the way. So these values are set and ready for you. So they can be good and they can be bad, really. Because if you have a lot of constants, that means all of them are loaded, right? Okay, so we can say p dot crust type, and hopefully, yeah, see, when you just say pizza, which is the class dot, you see this, right? Because it's a constant. If we have a lot of variables. We can make this even public, but we cannot see them. We can just try to make this public. You cannot see it, even if it's public. You have to be either a constant or a static. Static is, I really don't. I try to avoid static variables, by the way. But I don't even want to explain them to you guys. I don't know. I don't like them. Sometimes they are really bad. They can be bad. Yeah. All right. So this is a constant, private. We learn about variables. We can really make these constants too. So we can access them from multiple places if you need to, right? Constant. So we learned that constant can be accessed without the need of creating an object. And that can be helpful, and that can be bad at sometimes, because you're gonna see all these weird things. Some people just create constants and access them. Some people create a class called common constants, and it's not actually bad, really. But you can, for example, create a dictionary, a class called dictionary, and you can put all your definitions there, and you can access them. We're gonna learn that too. All right, let's get back to business. This is usually constant, so I'm gonna remove it. But we learned. Let's keep it. It's actually useless, but yeah. So now we have these variables. We have this property. What else? Nobody outside this class, by outside I mean in the form or someone who was calling this pizza class, can get the price of a pizza, right? Or I mean the price of a cheese or onion individually. Nobody knows that because they are private variables. We can wrap them with properties. We can do that, but we don't need to really. We just need something that tells me that this is the entire price for the pizza. We didn't do that yet. That's the most important thing. Let's do that. Okay, before we do that, we need to write methods, right? So the first method is called public add. What do we have? We have cheese. Add cheese. Oops, we forgot the sub. We're adding cheese. Add onion. These are empty methods. They don't have anything. So add what? Mushroom. What do we have? Meat. Meat and chicken. Add chicken. And the final function, which is the most important one, is get the price of this pizza. Public. I don't remember if we talk about functions. If we don't, this is the first time we're mentioning. So functions. A function is a method that returns a value. That's it. That's the difference between this and this, right? So we're gonna write a function now because we are expecting get price, this method, to return a value, the price of this pizza. So what is the price of what's the type of this price? All right, the price is a dollar value, right? So it can be it can be either whole number or fraction or decimal. So it has be a double, right? So you say after you do that, you get as double. So you return a double value. And then when you want to return, you just say return the value, right? The value in this case, it's 0, let's say. Okay, so now when you go here, we declare a new object, type pizza, create a new pizza, p dot, and we're gonna add cheese, one portion of cheese and one portion of chicken, and then I'm gonna return the price of this. And since the price is a function, you have to put it somewhere, right? You have to return it somewhere in a value which is the exact same type. So it's a double. I have to declare a variable called price or pizza price as double equal p dot get price. All right, price pizza. Now you say just message box the price of the pizza is and space, and then you say, and we talked about this in the first episode, pizza price, and then you can say like fancy stuff like you can put $1 here. Now what happens if I run this? Surely you guys know that basically this will be 0, right? Because this method does nothing. The price of the pizza is 0. Wow. Cheese and chicken, it's 0. We forgot to add the base price for the dough, right? Base price. Let's just say private unit base dough. Just say dough. Maybe we can let's be fancy later, okay? Units, we can have different prices for based on the thickness of the crust, but let's do that later. Let's make it simple now. Unit, we want to calculate the price today, hopefully. Unit dough price as double. Let's say by default it's $3. Okay, and there's of course the size and all these things. Let's make it simple, okay? Default size, no sizes here. All right, so we have the dough price, and so no matter what you have, what you have, always it has to be, at least you have to add the dough price, right? So let's declare a variable here in the get price. Let's call it price as double equals 0. Ignore that. So we put a price. The first thing we add is this. The first thing, the price is equal to the unit dough, and then we start adding stuff to it. Okay, so let's return that. Instead of returning 0, we return the actual value now. Fancy. What did we do wrong? Oh, that's an extra stuff that we added. Let's run. Now we have $3. Why? Because by default we didn't add the cheese. We did call add chicken and add cheese, but nothing really happened, right? We just called the get price. The price is equal to unit dough price, which is equal to 3. Set the 3 in this variable, return that. Simple. Now we need to activate these methods. How do we do that? There are a lot of methods or a lot of approaches to do that, okay? We can do this. We can keep variables to count the portions of each single ingredient, right? This is one of ideas that just came to my mind. Like we can have like a private variable called cheese portions as, and these are whole numbers, so 1 portion, 2 portion, 0 portion. So this is of course integer, right? So by default it's 0. Okay, private, what else? We have onion portions as integer information, no, equals 0. Private meat portions as integer equals 0. Private chicken portions as integer equals 0. What did we forget? Private. Did we forget anything? I think that's it. That's it. 4 things. Yeah. All right. So what now? I have cheese portions. I have 0 cheese portions, 0 onion, 0 meat, 0, 0. So if you call this method add cheese, you are adding an extra cheese portion. So whatever the current cheese portion is, set it to the current cheese portions and add 1 to it. Is that easy? So the first time you call add cheese, the cheese portions variable is 0. Add 1 to it, this whole thing will become 1. Set the 1 inside this variable. So the cheese portions will become 1. The next time you call add cheese, it will be 1 plus 1. It will be 2. 2 set it 2. And so on. So that's what we do basically. Onion equal onion plus 1. Meat portions equal meat portion plus 1. Chicken portion equal chicken portions plus 1. All right, we have portions. Now when we call these methods, we add cheese, 1 portion, chicken, 1 portion. So you guys good at math now, right? So what is the price of this now? All right, so the price is equal the unit dough price plus it will be equal to cheese portion, the number of cheese portions times the price, unit price of each cheese portion, right? Which is unit cheese price. Nice. So if this is 0, no matter what, this value will be 0, right? So this will be 0. So add, let's do the meat portions times unit meat portions plus onion portions times unit onion. That's a very long statement. You can break it down by the way, guys, if it's very long. Plus, you get the drill right now. Chicken portions times unit chicken portion. So we add cheese, meat, onion, and chicken. 4 things. How about that? This is one way to write it. It's a very long statement. Right? So the price is equal to this and this. You can break it down to this. Price is equal to unit dough, and then you say price is equal the current price plus the rest, right? But this is much easier. So unit dough price, chicken portion times unit cheese, right? Meat portion times the unit meat, onion price, chicken part. Yeah, return that. How about that? I think we're done. Now when I run that, okay, let's calculate it manually. What did I make here? What kind of pizza I made? I made a pizza. Let's call it something fancy. Chicken pizza with cheese. Alright, so this is obviously wrong because we changed the variable. So chicken pizza with cheese, add cheese, obviously, and add chicken. Get the price, and then what would be the price of this? So we added one portion of cheese, one portion of chicken, and then of course the dough size. So we have $3 plus 1 unit of cheese, which is 0.5 times 1, so 3.5, plus chicken, which is 1. We didn't change that, did we? No. So 3 plus 1 is 4. 4 plus 0.5 is 4.5. So 4 or 5 chicken pizza. Not so bad. It's a good price for a pizza. How about that? Our class returned the correct things. Sweet. Alright? Does that make sense, guys? Is it difficult? Easy? We can be fancy now. Like some people said, extra cheese, please. Does that extra cheese for chicken? Yeah, we can add extra cheese. It'll be more expensive, of course, for $5. And that's without tax, of course. You can add tax, right? And that's be more expensive. Like you can add two onion. Let's add onion. How about that? Let's just copy this. We added code for onion, so hopefully this will work. We added onion. What? That's a cheap ass onion. 0.1. All right. So yeah, we can replace chicken with meat. Will be a different story. I think meat is more expensive. 5.6. Come on. Come on. Meat is 1.5. It's 5.6. I think we're good. Yeah, 5.6. It's 1.5, right? So yeah, I think we are good here so far. I think we can stop. Yeah, we learned about constants, we learned about variables. We did what we wanted to do. It's a bit long class. You can guys practice without me, like add different kind of ingredients and set some prices, you know, prices, not prices. Okay, so what we can do is, think of this now. Now these values, let's talk about another concept before we close this. These values are called, the price of the chicken, right? What we set it to 1, like 3.5. Now when I save that and I compile build, when I right click here and I say open folder in file explorer, or you can just navigate to your project, you go to the bin, you go to debug, and this is basically your executable. You can give this to someone and he can run your application now, right? Obviously it's boring now, but see, that's the price of a chicken pizza, 5.6, by just running this, right? We'll make it fancy. People can run it and do some more stuff. I'm gonna add controls here, but see, you can give this copy and paste in a flash and just run it, right? People can run this application. But now that's the question. The prices change, right? But if you give someone this variant, he want to change something, right? Like the price of the cheese changes, he want to go in and change. Obviously, you'll not give him your source code, right? Your code is protected, right? It's closed, it's compiled, and that's it. You own it. But these values are inside your executable file, and nobody can change them. So we call this kind of close approach is called hard coding things. Hard coding is generally bad. Generally, sometimes it's good because you have to give some people or the users the ability to change your values or some values. Of course, not everything, but some values have to be flexible to be changed. Like we can do that, but the problem is that this becomes like how much people can change. Shall I give all these values for the users to change. I mean, sometimes you have to hide stuff, sometimes you have to explore it. So there's a big equalizer here. You have to think, and we're gonna talk about this in the very, very late no episodes in this series, hopefully, to talk about when to hide, when to hard code, when to, you know, open your application to change these kind of things. And we're going to talk about the concept of configuration. This is basically what we do with configure these values so people can change them, you know. So much as like if you have notepad here, you go to font, you can change the fonts, right? This is configuration. You are configuring the application. The author, the developer of notepad, could have just fixed a font and a size, right? But that's bad. He wanted people to change the font size, so he gave you this property. Instead of hard coding these values like to certain values, he gave you the ability to change them. So we talk about hard coding. So we're gonna talk about a lot of stuff in the future, hopefully, guys. Okay, guys, I hope you did not fall asleep watching this episode because I'm gonna kill myself. No. All right. I hope you enjoyed this, guys. Again, Happy New Year, and I'm gonna continue this. Hopefully, as I said, I try as much as possible to post more than one episode. If I see, of course, some interactions, of course. If I've seen a lot of people requesting this, I'm gonna do it. If I don't see any interactions, I'm gonna slack off, of course. But yeah, guys, do share this series with your friends. It really helps. Leave a like, a subscribe. I know YouTubers say this all the time, but it really helps, just to share this knowledge with people, So whatever I do here, I've seen that when the reason I started this particular series, that because of a lot of people, and particularly one of them, he told me that he he paid a lot of money just to learn programming, and eventually he didn't learn anything, and this really scars me because people take advantage of people who want to learn just to gain money. I mean, I believe knowledge should be free, all right, but of course people have to make a living out of it, right? And whatever, in my free time I make these videos. I'd like for you guys, as a minimum, just to share this with your friends. If you have friends who are interested in learning programming, right? Because if you enjoy the way I explain things, if it's boring, then this is a different story, of course. If it's not, then just do share it with your friends, because we're gonna make this rich and rich. As you can see, we're building a program here. We're not writing a hello world here, just explaining random techniques, right? We are doing this in a context of a project. That's why it should make sense for you guys, because we're doing something to solve a problem, and in the process we're learning. So I hope this kind of experience, I believe it's a fun way of learning by example. So guys, that's it for me now today, and good night and stay awesome. See you in the next one. Goodbye.